very important, first of all, to present yourself to your WOLEP colleagues, because I know that you will be interested in your career so far.
Oh, thank you. I am Nadia Mesa del Castillo. I am a lawyer here in Madrid, Spain, and my work is based on civil law, but with more effort in family law.
Great, congratulations. And when did you, let's say, start this passion for these specialties? What sparked your interest in these areas of law?
Well, it has been life, I think, because we in Spain we finished the studies with no specialization before, not now, and I have done everything. Criminal and administrative, everything. But life, I don't know how, it rails you on one path. And is really, I'm very fond of family law, because I think this is very important area in society, because the society is based on families, on mothers, fathers, children. We are the society because we are families. So for me, it is very, very important, and I think I can contribute somehow in doing something good for the families. So I am where I want to be.
That is very good to hear, and I would like to congratulate you that you found your passion. And I think as long as we have passionate people doing what they love in their respective domains, we are looking good for the future. And I also know from what you have told me that you have this special interest in collaborative practice. Applies also to what we talked before, and because, as you said, it tends to somehow remain not necessarily a mainstream area. I would like to ask you, what is it, first of all, and how does it differ from other forms of ADR?
Well, where do I begin? Well, yes, it is an ADR. It's not known mainstream. No, of course, it is not a mainstream. Oh, I wish it would be, but no. But by now it is not known already. But well, the traditional ways of ADRs are mediation, arbitration, and they are very different from the collaborative practice, because collaborative practice is our practice. I mean, lawyers' practice, because mediation, you have a mediator that can be anyone who's trained. Arbitrator can be a person who knows about the subject, but they don't need to be lawyers in any case. But in this case, the collaborative practice, you need a lawyer to develop this system. So this is why I say that this is our ADR, the lawyer's ADR, we can say. And what is it? It is system. It's a negotiation system in which you are with your client. I mean, each client goes with his own collaborative lawyer.
Okay.
And you develop a negotiation based on Harvard negotiation. And there is something that is very important, because this could be just a negotiation, a normal one, but there's a plus. That is the mentality. This here there's a change on the lawyer's mentality, because we lawyers are used to work alone, to fight alone, and overall to fight and to win and to win and to win. That is not the aim. Well, yes, win, of course, but in another way. I mean, traditionally, we have been fighting to win. Yeah?
Yes.
This is, as always, I win, you lose. This is the old paradigm.
Yes.
We have to go to another one, because I think the society in general, we are fed up of fighting for everything. We are exhausted. And in family, you can imagine this is very destructive, very destructive. So we family lawyers were looking for something different. And this system has been made by a lawyer, I don't know the name now, for lawyers. This consists in the win-win paradigm. I mean, I can win, but you can win too. And how do we do that? By collaborating. I mean, I don't fight the other part. I go and grab the hand of the other part. I mean, together better than alone. This is the motto, could be. I don't know if you are understanding me.
Yes, no, I listen to you very carefully, and I don't want to use big words. You are the specialist, but it somehow sounds like a revolution in the way you are doing things as parties involved in a interaction, a legal interaction, so to speak. So, Miss Del Castillo, I wanted to ask you, when was your first contact with this technique, with this method? When did you first hear about collaborative practice?
Well, the first notice I had was in the pandemic. It's recently, because I was coming from a path that was destructive even for me, because I saw that I was not able to help families. I was not able to build but destroy. So I stepped on the collaborative practice in Spain, and I loved that, and I began to study, to train, because the training is not only Harvard negotiation, but soft skills also, because you have to know to cope with the emotions of the people. Because the emotions are very important on decisions and on your way of thinking and everything. So we have to be trained on all that to unblock the negotiation because of the emotion. I mean, we have to be trained on more skills than just law. And we have been doing all that. I have begun work with couples, mainly in divorce, with very good results. Very good, because the process is very shorter, because here in Spain it's a crazy thing. If you go before the court, you can spend months and months and years. So it's a crazy thing. And I'm very happy because it works. It works really, and people. I mean, you see that they can even not, because this is not a therapy. It is not a therapy, but a method in which you can do the things in another way, better. You can negotiate in a safe arena. You can say, they can express themselves, say what they want to say, that it was hidden for a long time. You can you help the client to reach their real needs, to understand the situation. So for me, it's a whole new thing, and it's the future for me.
Yes, hopefully, I'm sure. And because we talked about the fact that, you know, in the old paradigm, people are used to being very combative, to fight in court. I'm sure that I assume that this method does not work with everyone. I mean,
Yes.
there are people who want to go all the way and fight and win only themselves. And I wanted to ask you, because it is a new method, let's say, are these clients of yours and also the other parties hard to convince, you know, to embrace this route?
Well, you know, I don't convince anyone.
Okay.
Because everyone is, the people are adults, so they can do their own choices. I just show them the different methods, and it's their task to choose, not mine. I can, well, yes, I can give an advice, yes, an advice. For me, I think in your situation, it would be better this or that. But the choice is theirs. But I don't go on the criminal law. I don't do that things. I think in families, terrible to go on, unless if there is a violence or a criminal offense, of course. But in other way, I don't use the criminal offense, these types of things to press or to blackmail, or that is very usual now. I don't do that. But your question, I don't convince anyone. I show them the options. It is, I think, yes, there is a liberty. If they want to go in the old way, okay, that's okay. It's their choice. So.
Thank you. And because we touched upon some of the benefits of this practice, what would you say is, in your opinion, the main benefit, the biggest benefit? Is it earning lots of time because you don't go through this classic process? Is it being civil and not engaging in fighting?
Well, this is a very subjective question because it depends on your point of view. For me, is that this system is not destructive, or yes, it's not destructive. On the contrary, I mean, you're not building a new, you are not renewing the relationship, but smoothing in a way, smoothing a bit, because you can talk, the clients can talk freely with a structure, with the advices you have given to them, etc. But I think for me, it's very important to look to the victims in this crisis that are the children. It's very important that the children be safe, that the children see that their parents are able to negotiate in a peaceful way. This is a lesson for them. I think this system can avoid them problems of mental problems or relationship problems in the future for them. For me, the focus is the family, the children, the family.
And is it safe to say that you as a legal professional draw more satisfaction from the fact that you are a facilitator of this civilized outcome?
I don't understand the question.
Oh, as a legal professional, as a lawyer, are you
Mhm.
drawing more satisfaction from the fact that this
Ah,
collaborative practice enables you to be a facilitator?
of course. For me, for me, it's a relief. For me, because everyone wants to make a difference, unless little difference in life. And for me, my old practice, well, sometimes is correct, yes, but in family, it's like you're feeling that you're collaborating to destroy something, and I don't like that. With this practice, I feel far better. I feel that I can help really the people to go on to change their lives, because a crisis, a family crisis, is a change in life, is a point of a finish and a start, a new start. So I feel that I contribute in a good way to that, so that makes me feel good.
Thank you. We are at approximately question 7 because we went through some of them collectively. And I was curious to find out from you if there are other legal professionals involved in this process that you work with.
Yes. The characteristic in this process is that as you are dealing with a case, maybe normally, if you are out of the court, you need to deal or to see or study several different disciplines. I mean, for instance, you can need a financial advisor to make the division of assets, for instance, or maybe you need a psychologist because you need some help in when the communication, for instance, the communications is very, very, very difficult. Maybe you call a psychologist to help the conversation, a psychologist or a coach to improve that, or a child specialist, or an architect, or an accountant. I mean, we're lawyers, but if we are in a divorce, for instance, you will have to maybe to use another professionals. The characteristic is that professionals normally are also collaborative. I mean, they are trained on the system. Why is that? It's not only the negotiation, the Harvard negotiation itself, but also that this is a main characteristic, that is the change of mentality. I mean, we are not fighting, we are collaborating, and this is very important in the collaborative lawyers, because we are always talking each other. We are guessing what is the correct or the better path or the better system to give this client this and to give this client that. I mean, we are always in communication to see, because at the beginning you have to discover the needs of the clients. This is basic. This is the basis of everything. So we are always collaborating. This is a change of mentality in the lawyer's mentality.
Thank you for explaining these aspects. And because you've mentioned the Harvard, let's say, blueprint for doing collaborative practice, I know you've also mentioned in your messages that we exchanged the fact that there are some important associations worldwide, also in America, in North America, I presume, but also in Europe. would you say, or can you mention other European countries that are employing this method from your knowledge?
Yes, yes. Is well, it was born in the USA by a lawyer in the 90s, and the main association is the IACP, International Association of Collaborative Professionals. That is, they set the rules. We can say that, and in Europe there are a lot of countries that have followed this system. This is France, Germany, Netherlands, Italy. We have a Congress in Italy in May, Ireland, and of course Spain. In Spain, for instance, this is my association, that is ACP, Abogados Colaborativos de Familia, that is family law collaborative lawyers. And this has been like, I feel like we are doing like step by step, but because there's a need, because we, family law, we see that lack of the system, of the traditional system. We can do much more if we just fight in the courts. It's terrible. So this is why I think there are from time to time is growing the collaborative practice community. But let me say that the collaborative practice was born, and it's very important in family law, but you can apply it in every conflict, because every conflict implies different people. That means relationships, different business relationships, or family, or whatever.
Yes, I think it's very important that you emphasize the fact that you can extend this method to other areas of law. And to me, from what you've explained, it seems to be a case of reality and the needs of people that have this sort of problems, creating a new direction in law. And like you've said, moving on from the traditional paradigm to something that is more flexible and dynamic and in line with what society and how society evolves. And speaking of tradition, I wanted to ask you if there are some laws, if there are emerging some laws, maybe in Spain, that are addressing collaborative practice, or is your association, for example, looking to encourage this kind of development in law?
Well, in short, no. No. By now, there is just running a mediation law that it is another one, and now is in progress another law that includes the ADRs.
Okay.
But the draft doesn't name the collaborative practice yet, but there's the biggest association in Spain that is from the north, is ADCE, is working hard to do that, to include the collaborative practice, but we don't know yet. We don't know if there will be a reality or not. We hope so.
Yes, and I hope it will help your practice. Because you've mentioned a congress that will be taking place in Italy in May. I wanted to ask you, because we also have a pretty big contingent of WOLEP members there in Italy. I think after Spain, they are the second most populous, let's say, contingent of members. Would you be interested in at some point meeting other colleagues from WOLEP that also employ collaborative practice and exchange views, exchange ideas from your practice? Would you like that? Would you like
to speak to
them and maybe collaborate in some projects?
Yes, of course, of course. First of all, because we have to spread the word, no, because we believe on this way of solving problems, and in other hand, because networking is vital in our profession also, and because maybe sometimes you have clients from different countries, you need a collaborative professional in other country to do the job. So yes, of course.
And sorry if I'm indiscreet, but I wanted to ask you where does this Congress take place? In what city?
Rome. In Rome,
Rome.
at the end of May is the 25th to 27, I think.
Okay. That's a great place to host events.
Yes.
Rome is a beautiful city,
Yes, it is.
as Madrid as well. So
Yes.
for the last question, Miss Del Castillo, I wanted to ask you also to address an invitation, because we have I don't know, as far as I remember, you didn't have a chance to participate in that, but we have the WOLEP webinars, which are a way of making our members meet and share, like I've said, know-how and their practice. And to me, I don't want to flatter you, but it seems that collaborative practice is a great topic, a great subject for our members, and as well, because you are speaking a very good English, but
Oh, thank you.
we can also do it in Spanish if you'd like. Like I said, we have many members also from South America, and I wanted to, first of all, address this invitation to do a webinar, and second of all, would you be interested in doing a presentation for your colleagues
Of course,
on this
yes.
topic?
Yes. Count on me.
Great. That is very good to hear. Thank you for your openness, and I will also involve Adelina in making this happen, because we'd really like to do a webinar on this subject. It seems really interesting. I'm not a specialist, of course, but I know you can illuminate us, because I see your passion, and I see the fact that you believe very much in this method, which is the most important thing. So
Yes. It is the future, Theodore. It's the future.
I'm sure of that, and I know that I've said that it is the last question, but I'd like to ask you if you can maybe transmit a message to your WOLEP colleagues that will be reading this discussion between us.
I encourage my colleagues to at least approach this method, to know about it, because it's very unknown already. I'm sure that it would be very interesting, in many colleagues. I think it's a new way of giving our services, but also I think it's something that we can do to give back to the society. That I think that is very important. So I encourage them to know it, at least.